Thank you for tuning in to tonight's episode, the second episode of the Breeder Spotlight. Before we get started, I want to mention that when it comes to grow shops in Monroe County, Rich and the crew at Rochester Hydroponics, they are the go-to shop to go to in Rochester. If you need any help with what to use, any knowledge and plant advice, Rich is a wealth of knowledge and won't steer you wrong. Today, our guest is Marijuana Mike of Dead Evil Genetics. He's a cannabis patient, cultivator, artist, breeder. Since the MRTA was signed, he's been growing his brand through social media and is quickly building a solid reputation. Thank you for joining us today. How you doing?
Doing well. Nice. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. So what's new in the world of Marijuana Mike and Dead Evil Genetics?
We have quite a bit going on. I am in the process of acquiring a lot of auto-pollen so that we can start making some pretty amazing genetic changes and matchups. I also, Megalodon dropped. I had my stream cake testers have been already ran through. I've had 2 males popped up at a 40 tester.
Okay.
Every harvest but 2, and those 2 actually have more to run, so they'll get their girl.
That's good to hear.
And, the ice cream cake, my genetic make of it has been great success. And then with the scream cake being the mother of the Megalodon that we've made with Spectre Genetics Banana Shark, which is an ultra shark X banana blue, I believe, or both, something like that. Banana blue. We'll get a better one next time. I'll have the actual name. Yeah, it's going to be a very big, sticky, wet thing, and it's going to be fun.
Right.
I'm going to be planting my one on 420 because there's a grow-off going on through the community with 7 other gentlemen against Marijuana Mike, and they're going to see if they can, in fact, beat me in my own game.
Everybody's going to be growing your strain to see if they can beat you. That'd be an interesting concept.
No, I'm like, do it at a time. Like I end up being overwhelmed, so anything can happen.
Right.
I usually have too many projects because anybody who breeds these things knows that 90% of them will never flower.
Right.
And of them end up not being useful very much.
So this is kind of like the I Beat Bobby Flay of cultivation, then.
Eventually, I'll end up getting like a big airplane hangar,
right,
10 miles from my house, and then I'll be able to effectively do everything the Green Wolf way.
Okay.
That guy's got to have. Isn't he pretty impressive? I've been looking at it.
Right. Now, what are some? You've mentioned some of the genetics you've got in the works right now. What's some of the ones you're excited about that are already out that people can get now?
Killer Squatch. Killer Squatch is like my favorite one. Everybody never sees it coming. They always see it's going to be like a big hairy thing or something.
All right.
They go through the community. Killer Squatch is it's an autoflower that like puts autoflowers to shame in size.
Okay.
Big bud, expert, big healing. My second favorite is Dream Cake, but everything else that I'm running, the upcoming, I have come up with a couple of strategic names. I'm going to wait to see them in flowers so I can smell them and get to know them a little. But yes.
Okay.
I'll be talking to Nick Gobsmacked about, adopting one of his Tommy guns and assessing it with some AK-47 and coming up with a cool name.
That would be a good one. I've actually got I got a Tommy gun going right now, actually.
But one that I should point out, if people are digging in for just a fun grow overall, is either Megalodon or Scream Cake. They're just overall, they're great grow. The genetics are beautiful. You just don't have flaw. You don't have a bad time. Now, with autoflowers, you have a set amount of time to do things. So if you're quick on the fly, you're going to get a nice deal. Especially off of autoflowers that we work. like Gobsmacked works, you do your end of the job, you're going to get more than the average person.
Right.
Needless to say, the way to go our state is autoflowers right now, because they're being a little odd.
Well, yeah, especially in the state of New York. Technically, still can't grow, but no reason not to start planting or even start if with whatnot and everything. The new growers that are coming into it, when they're looking at genetics, what are some of the things a new grower is going to want to look at, especially in like autoflowers?
Remember that a feminized seed also means it's a hermaphrodite. You're going to have a lot of problems with that. If you want to get your first round right, you want to buy yourself out some autoflower regulars so you can dictate your males, dictate your females, so you're never 3 weeks heavy flower realizing that you're about to lose your whole crop. You didn't listen to me right now. Feminized seeds are easy peasy, but they also have a lot of... They're irritable because you force them to be something that they might not necessarily want it to be.
Right.
And one thing for all of that is whatever benefits medically.
Right.
You smoke because you have cancers. Definitely want something that has a high potency for ingestion.
Yeah.
Definitely want something that's up there high, like a wedding cake or gelatos. Those are really good. Sour diesel even.
Yeah. And now, so... You've got your genetics. Now, a grower, when they're deciding what that they're going to grow, first, of course, they got to look at the size of their grow room and the amount of space they're going to use and the light they're going to use. I like LED lights, and I'm pretty sure everything you've got is LED now. What are some of the advantages of using an LED light?
Cheaper on the pocket than it did than back in the day with the big old bulbs, heat pocket HPS. Now it's the true wattage of an LED light is effective. Like let's say I have one that's the true 600, but it pushes off 6,000. It's really going to be a thing. It's not going to be 6,000 from your wall, 6,000 from the top. Easier on the pocket. Not to mention they're easy replaceable compared to broken glass everywhere. And the blur bulbs. The red and blue lights, I get it. Get over it. We're out. All right, news in. Bar lights, quantum board lights are good, but you want to make sure you maintain your heat levels right. Have a heat gun on hand because a lot of the time, even it doesn't matter the manufacturer. It can be Mars, it can be Spider Farmer, it could be Padvillo, it can be anyone. That's all. All of them, King LED, every single one of them. All it takes is somebody at the factory to make one little error. 2 weeks later, you got quantum burn, not even from your heat, but from manufacturer flaw. So you have to keep an eye on quantum boards. And you're easily going to be able to disperse bar light over top of your crops than you are a quantum board. You're going to have to use uniform lighting, which costs more lights. If anything, you want one big light to do the whole job so your life is easier, blah, blah, blah.
Now, and that's the thing, I've recently switched to the bar lights. I find I like just the coverage of the bar lights better, and I'm way more happy with the bar lights once I switched. What are some other good things about bar lights to go over those instead of the quantum boards?
I mean, a lot of the ones that I have internal timers. So they hook up to my phone, and I just I'm all nimbly-bibbly about it now. I used to have set timers and bombs and a bell that would go off so that I remember time. Now it's oh, it went off? Oh, it must be 12 o'clock.
It is nice being able to run everything from your cell phone, too.
I talk to you guys with these cool little things. But at the end of the day, Mike, if you follow, you know what I mean. You follow the groups that we do. If the product doesn't have the product what it's supposed to be, then I'm not going to run it. A lot of the time, people knock Vespa, but those bar lights is kicking ass, man, with that. And I don't even get a contract from them. Where'd that go?
Yeah, I would not say no to a contract to any light manufacturers watching or anything either. I think neither one of us would turn down a lighting contract.
Well, dude, they gave me one for Mars, and they've given me one for Spider Farmer through the Facebook groups. I'm going to continue to do the Spider Farmer, and I'm going to idly push Mars off at the end of the contract.
Right. Is that because you like the Spider Farmer better, or just a better working relationship?
I only got into the contracts to help the people in the groups. I don't need the products. I can get the products from other companies, and the only reason I really did it is because I wanted to get established in the community, and the best way to do that is to sign a dotted line and get stuck.
Which leads to another thing. When the cannabis industry, a lot of it is networking and getting to know people and making sure that you meet the right people. What are some things that you look at when you're looking at other breeders to work with? What are some of the things you look at that make you want to work with that breeder?
The number one thing is whether or not I can tolerate you. I'm not a big I'm not a big people person. Does it seem odd? I have what you call agoraphobia. So if I can actually get along with somebody in 5 minutes in a conversation about work, then it's definitely something we can go. Now, I do have a couple of co-breeders on my label, but they're kind of just doing their own things, kind of. So, for instance, I have Cody Johnson in Newfane doing some odds and ends for me. I've got Steve Hamilton down in Virginia doing some odds and ends for me. Charles Hager up in Grafton, New York, doing odds and ends for me. And I'm down here doing more odds. It's a lengthy process of who you want to trust to do your stuff, because at the end of the day, I try to explain to the co-breeders, this isn't about the money. It's not about money about that shit, because if it is about the money, then you need to leave. It's about the group of people that you're trying to help, because this is a different paradigm in the world these days. This thing we're allowed to play with, nothing but 20 years ago, we were called drug addicts and failures and losers, and we're nothing with our lives, yada, yada, yada. Now we have a chance to take that, show the world differently. That's what I'm going to do.
And you're definitely good at what you're doing. What are some things? So we've talked about lighting and everything. What soils would you recommend, or what type of medium do you recommend for an auto?
There's a lot of mix-ups with people, and my particular mix. I go to the hydro store in my local town. A lot of people don't have that option. Go to Amazon. Get 1.5 cubic foot Coast of Maine Stonington blend. You want to get a 1.5 cubic foot of I think it's called Wiggle Worm casting, and to budget everything out, get a 1.5 of either the Fox Farm Ocean, mend it, because there's always issues, or get Big Roots and mend that with Coast of Maine. Overall, out of those 1.5 cubic feet, you're going to get over 15 pots of 3 gallons, full, ready to go, and probably still have some topping soil.
Now, I personally, for autos, I like to use cocoa mainly just because of the ease of, if you do mess up and overfeed, or if you have an issue, it's a lot easier to fix with just a quick flush and to get back into the program. But yeah, doing the Pro Mix and everything like you do is also an excellent way to do it. And you, like you said, it.
Hydro is a good option too if they want to get involved.
Right.
I did doing one. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
Right. Yeah, you were doing, last time we spoke, you were just starting your hydro grow, I think. How did that actually turn?
Thing is huge. It's
Huge?
the gummy bear from God. I put a picture in the group yesterday.
Okay.
Thing is a bush.
Nice. My gummy bear right now is about 3 inches tall. It's doing good. Huh?
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's day 8, I believe, since it popped. So it's looking good.
Huge. It's huge.
Nice.
Big.
Yep. Now, so what? You also have a working relationship with Kick Vape, right?
Yes, I do. I am the CEO of the U.S. American office.
Explain what Kick Vape is and what you're doing with it.
Kick Vapes are the up-and-coming call them what do they call them? Puffco, right?
Right.
Well, this is, we do a lot of things like Puffco, Rosnier, Nug Smasher, but we try to do them in one roof. So we have 5-ton hydraulic press. People in the community are using them. You look around, you see hashtag kickvape, that's me. That's all of us. That's the community. But these things are not to be laughed at. When you're able to sit there and realize that you're spending $179 on a product that, just because it doesn't look as cool and sexy as a Puffco Peak Air Shifter, you're still winning. And when you turn around and you realize that in the same spot you can get a 5-ton hydraulic press for a little under $400 shipped and refurbished by me for $200 plus shipping, people go crazy. We have custom bangers, we've got Turk slurpers, the whole nine, your kits, stirrers.
Let's get back to the press. You caught my ear. How much is the press out the door?
Out the door, right on the website, it's $349 plus tax. 5-ton hydraulic jar. That's a bottle jack. And I'm going to tell you one thing, that thing does.
Right, so it's almost unheard of to find one of those for under $400. So that's a great price point there.
No, because I refurbish ones in-house, $200, and then ship them out. They come out to like $250, $260 when I refurb in-house.
Okay.
And here's the thing, the refurbished ones come from Amazon, and people don't know how to use them, so they end up returning them. You know what a refurbished really is? I just had to make sure they didn't break it.
Now, so you said that you can purchase them on Amazon. Is there also a website they can go to, or where would someone go?
And about 3 weeks ago, we're fully off of Amazon. You go directly to kickvape.com, use Dead Eye Evil Mike as a discount code. It's a little over 10%. I get an alert, and then I'd be able to shoot tracking numbers and everything, or Big Boss Man out in Hong Kong can. But we're on top of it. There's a lot of guys that are in the community that had issues when we started the groups for kickvape, and I take care of my clients immediately.
Okay.
If you have a problem with the product, you get a hold of me, and I will make sure it's right. My job to make sure that the people like what I do.
Goes to show just how passionate you are about all of your adventures you've got going on. You put your heart and soul into everything you do here. And we talked a little bit of what's coming down the pipeline. Any big news or anything you want to talk about that's coming out in the near future?
In August, I'm adding my first co-breeder to the label. His name is Mr. Happy Buds, and I've known him since we were 6 years old. He's going to be on this label where he should have been since day one, and now that he's clean and getting better, coming home. So in August, I will introduce everybody to the co-owner. And with that being said, we're going to be making a big change as it comes for our August releases, because he's going to have details of what he wants to get out in August, his first release, to me by the end of the week next week.
Okay, that's exciting. So definitely big news in the Dead Eye Evil camp. Anything else you want to talk about, or anything else? I
would like to talk about how awesome you're going to be doing with this show, because you've definitely got stuff going on, man. You had Nick on last week. That's a banger of an episode. I checked that out. I was like, wait a minute, is that the legend?
It might have been. Yeah, I do have some good things planned, and I'm glad to have you a part of this whole adventure we got going on. And I really think this time in New York is the time to be as a cultivator. This is the time that...
You know what it is. It is. Once upon a time, not too long ago, this was just a dream.
Yes. And...
Just a dream. Just drawing on a desk of a devil with a gun.
And now, look at it's full blown. You've got a reputation of one of the great breeders of New York. One of the first breeders in New York.
Hold on. Helpless, what do they call it? I will never bow down to any sponsor. Except for if they're Happy Hippie Head Shop. Dead Eye Evil CultGear.com.
Okay, nice.
They do all the merch. Stacy and Leanne, Happy Hippie Head Shop, they do all my merch.
Yep, I actually... I need to talk to them soon, because I need to get some new merch here shortly. But I do want to... Yeah, I definitely want to thank Marijuana Mike for joining us today. If someone's out there wants to get your genetics, what's the best way to get a hold of you, or where should they go to get?
You can always get a hold of me directly through Facebook, Instagram, all the other forums. Shortly, we're going to have an actual .com for said genetics. You can get a hold of Stacy and Leanne Hippie, because they will alert me. Anyway, any place you see this unique name, it's going to be me, because I'm only one of a kind. You even type it into Google, I am the only person on Earth.
Wonderful. So just if you do want to get some of his genetics, and I do have some of his ready to go in the pipeline there, you're once I get what's in the tent, you're going to fill up the tent next, the next harvest will all be you.
I have to send you a couple of new ones I ran, and there could be Vanilla Shave Ice X Bruce Spano Auto, or it's just going to be Vanilla Shave Ice X Vanilla Shave Ice.
Ooh,
so,
they both sound exciting.
I'm not going to send it to the public because there might be that issue, but yeah, I want to see my friends run them and see if they flip.
So yeah, I do want... So I do want to thank everybody for joining us. Next week, we'll revisit the conversation I had with Captain Redbeard a couple months ago. I like Captain Redbeard. I'm running his Critical Mass Champion 1 right now. Oh, nice. I've got the chocolate mimosa. Once again, I do want to thank Marijuana Mike for joining us. Also, don't forget, everybody in Monroe County, if you do need anything for your grow room or grow space, don't forget Rochester Hydroponics in Gates at 2159 Buffalo Road, or in Webster at 696 Ridge Road. I'm Mike D, and we'll see you next time on the Breeders Spotlight.